Good evening, my name is Jemima Beatrice, your host for this edition of the Evening Review. Now this evening we are speaking to Nico Smit. He's the treasurer of the Popular Democratic Movement, PDM. He is also a veteran politician and member of parliament for PDM. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Smit.
Yeah, thank you for the invite, Jemima.
So let's just jump right into this. Namibia has seen a lot of things. Namibia has seen the Namcor controversy playing out over the last few days. But I think the biggest question that is in Namibia right now is the issue of empowerment, especially now with new oil funds and natural resources that are found. So let's start with NIEF. There's been a lot of, NIEF is still in the pipeline, it has been back and forth. And there's a lot of issues that were highlighted by stakeholders. As the official opposition, what is your position on this, and what have you done to talk to stakeholders about this?
Yeah, Jemima, we have only heard about NIEF. We know nothing about it. The other day I asked even one of the very senior ministers, where is the document? I understood it was Parliament. He said, no, it's not in Parliament. At Cabinet. He said, no, it's not at Cabinet. I said, where is it? He said he doesn't know. So, you know, there's a lot of stories about NIEF. We got the previous one, the one that was withdrawn to be revamped or whatever. But after that, we haven't seen it. We just heard that it's coming. And what it's in it, we don't know. And so I would like to have a copy to see what is in it and what is saying this time around and whether it's acceptable. But we are open-minded. Things must be changed in the country, you know, to the better for all. And therefore we would like to be part of the document. You know, if it comes to Parliament, we want to contribute to it and say our say how we see it. So yeah, we are waiting for it, but we don't know when it will come.
Now, PDM leadership has had a number of meetings with stakeholders, including the Construction Federation recently. Now, still on the issue of empowerment locals, can you talk to us about these briefings and what Namibians are talking about when they speak to you?
Yeah, you see, actually all the people that we are speaking to, the other day, last week, we were talking to Namfisa, me and our president, McHenry Venani. We went to see the CEO of Namfisa and his senior leadership. And also to some others. And there's one thing, and that is that everybody wants to see change to the better. Everybody is not happy about the state of our economy. Yeah, the economy is growing, but it's not growing fast enough, and not enough is being done to make it grow faster. Because to make the economy grow faster, you must put more money. The government must make more money available to the private sector to let the economy grow. And that is not happening. It's not happening because the government just don't have that money to make a difference. So the money that they got the other day, this 10 billion from SACU, we thought that they will use that money to sort of to pay off some of our debt, which is really far too high, and we can't afford it. We can't afford those payments, and very soon we will have to borrow money to pay our debtors. That is not very far. So instead of using that money to pay debt, so to have more money available to make it possible for the private sector to grow faster. They use that money to go on a spending spree, that 10 billion. And that 10 billion will just vaporize like fog, you know, before the morning sun. That is the problem. The people that we are talking to all feel that because of the rise, the frequent rise of the repo rate, money has become too expensive for them to borrow from the commercial banks. Because none of the businesses are so big that they can do their thing on their own. They have to borrow money from the banks. And because of the money is getting more and more expensive, they borrow less. And not even borrowing less, they even scale down. And that is what is hurting the economy by scaling down, the business people, the private sector scaling down. By scaling down, you have to retrench people, and that have serious spin-offs. If you retrench people, because once you are retrenched, a company are retrenching workers, it's very rare that they will soon start to employ people again. There's something, a miracle must actually happen before they start to re-employ the people. And that is creating, hardship for our people. And I don't know where we will end with this. The government has learned its lesson by creating a bloated civil service with thousands of people, too many people in employment of the government. And the other day I was surprised, actually shocked, when the President, His Excellency Dr. Keinkop, said that they're going to cut the civil service. I said, my goodness, where will the people go if you retrench them? If you retrench 1,000 or 2,000 civil servants, what will happen in this country? It will be chaos. So our civil service is too big and something must be done, but not to retrench them. But by retrenching them, you will create bigger problems and even civil strife, serious.
Yes.
And we have warned the government throughout the years. They are making a mistake by using the government service as employment company that's employing people. According to the World Bank and the IMF, which did the research surveys, that for every one vacancy that was in the government, or you can say, they have employed 3 people to do the same job, just to create employment, to give more people work. And that is what brought us where we are today, that we are sitting with a bloated civil service that we can't afford. That is our biggest drain, and the government has no plan how to plug that drain, how to close it.
Mr. Smit, you are the treasurer of PDM and you are a lawmaker for over a decade now. What is your views on the budget? You've just spoken about the fact that we don't have the money. So what are your views on the budget?
No, you see, the budget that we have is just on paper. I always say it, that the figures that's there, we don't have that money. And I always said we will see the truth at the midterm budget review. Then we will get a new budget. The first one in March is only sought for as window dressing, to create the impression that the government got money, and that they are going to do A, B, C, D, but they don't release that money to the ministries to do A, B, C, D, because they don't have the money. So when they come at October at the midterm budget review, say for instance, Ministry of Agriculture got, for argument's sake, 500, say 1 billion. Then they will say to them, of this 1 billion that we gave you, you only spent 300 million. So you still have 700 million left. So it's clear that you don't know how to spend it, and and you didn't do your work. So we are going to take 500 away. We leave you with another 200 that you can go till the end of the financial year. But they never had that 1 billion. That was only for window dressing, that they said you have 1 billion to create the impression that we have money. We don't have that money, and we should. And the money that we have must be spent in such a way that we actually make it possible for the private sector, because government can't create jobs. Government has tried with the many SOEs that we have. There's actually only 2 that's really worth being there, and that is NAM Water and NAM Power. The rest, you know, are just, most of them, I will say about all of them, are just bottomless pits. The money is just disappearing into thin air. They must be bailed out here and bailed out there, and that is eating the money. So I think that is our big problem, the SOEs. And then also what that also showed that they can't be in business is the green schemes. Hundreds of millions of Namibian dollars were spent on the green schemes, and there's not a single one that's a success. All of them are a disaster. So there's a big difference between a business person and a civil servant. A civil servant can't be a business person. So if a government should rather help the business sector to make cheap money available to them so that they create the jobs. They create the jobs. That is how an economy works, and this is how you drive an economy. That is the private sector's job, not the government to interfere and to prescribe. Look at, for instance, the sheep farming in the south, that abattoir. By the interference of the government into that, they killed that abattoir and sheep farming in the south. Even Meatco. Why is Meatco what it is today? It's because of government interference. They destroyed Meatco. And then the farmers started a new thing, and that thing is a booming success. So the government must learn to leave business to the business people. They must create the environment to the business people to prosper, to expand their business, to create more jobs. Give them incentives, tax incentives. If you have, in this business of yours where you have 5 employees, we are prepared to borrow you cheap money, but then you must push it up to 8 or 9 or 10 employees that you must employ. So that you create more jobs, but by creating more jobs, the money is coming back to you in form of taxes. Those people are earning now salaries on which they pay as you earn, personal tax, and also pay taxes with the money that they are spending. So the money doesn't go to waste. It returns, and it's returning in a form that it's creating jobs, and it's also growing the economy. And through there, the government can rise.
Now, on that note of growing the economy, we are going for a quick break, and then we'll be back.
Okay.
We'll be back just now.
The My.NA Cars Show provides viewers with the best in-class cars content, engaging interviews, as well as a showcase of the latest cars-related news, products, and services. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact My.NA at synergy.com.na. My.NA Cars, more than just a ride.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Now, welcome back. If you've just joined us, my name is Jemima Beerkes, the host of this edition of the Evening Review, and we are speaking to a Member of Parliament for Popular Democratic Movement, PDM, Mr. Nico Smit. We are talking about a number of issues, the NIEF bill, for instance, and we are talking about the oil finds and what that means for Namibia. Now, Mr. Smit, before we went on a break, you spoke about job creation the government's role in creating jobs, government's role in creating a conducive environment for business instead of interfering in this business. Now, can you talk to us about the corporate governance in this country? And now with the advent of oil, the oil discoveries, even, green hydrogen and lithium that is now in high demand in Namibia. Do you think, as a veteran lawmaker, that we have a solid foundation when it comes to corporate governance culture in this country?
Jemima, we don't have any. There's no corporate governance in Namibia. Not at all. Not at all. Show me the law. There's no law. The only directive that we have is the King 4 document from South Africa. Now, King stands for judge. There was a judge. There's a judge in South Africa by the name of King. I think the number 4, I think he brought 4 volumes out on corporate governance. A very authoritative document, very good one. And South Africa is working closely to it, but South Africa also doesn't have a law. They're also working, on that document. And that is our big problem in the country, because there's no watchdog for governance. There's no watchdog. The only people who are sort of subjective to control is the members of the stock exchange, companies who are enlisted at the stock exchange. They are under the control, under the rules of the stock exchange, very, very strict rules. Those are the banks, and also the banks that are under very, very strict control. And then all the other companies that's enlisted with the stock exchange. But all the others, government included, there's no watchdog. And where there's no watchdog, we have what we have. This corruption, this bad governance that we have, that is because there's no watchdog. If we had a proper governance here, corporate governance, then there would have never been a thing like Fishrot. Never been a thing like this NAMCOR and all the things, all the evil things that's happening here. The misappropriation of money and the squandering of money. It's because there's no watchdog to control those people. And there's also, and because there's nobody, those people who are guilty of this are not being brought to book, because who must bring them to book if there's nobody who responsible for that? And I think that is what we need desperately in this country, is a law on corporate governance, a proper law on many countries in the world, the majority countries in the world do have a law on corporate governance. That's why you seldom find this type of corruption that we have in Namibia and also in South Africa. This is a free for all. You can do what you like, nothing will happen to you, and it's like monkey see, monkey do. If you do it and nothing happens to you, why should I not also do it? You see, that is the bad thing. So we have to do something about this, and the government should take the lead, because they are the government, they are responsible. It's very difficult for opposition party to come with a bill, because some years back, about 12 years back, we did some research in the cost of a private member's bill. And the quotations that we got was, at that time, was nearly $300,000 that will cost a political party to bring a private member's bill. That's not so easy to compile a bill. Mm-hmm. A lot of research, a lot of work must go into that. So it's not possible for an opposition party to come with whatever bill. It's just too costly. You can't do it. The government is there. We can initiate, we can come with motions and ask for bills that it must be investigated, must be researched, and see what is the possibility that we can bring such a bill, or that the legal drafters, government, justice can come with with such a bill. But to come back to any authority on corporate governance, there is none. Nothing exists.
You've mentioned NAMCOR.
Yeah.
PDM is one of the parties that has called for an investigation into the party. I mean, not the party, into the organization, as well as the suspension of the now suspended CEO. Can you just give us your views? What motivated the party to call for this investigation?
Yeah, you see, it came as such a shock what happened there, and still it's not clear. You know, what are the facts? What happened there? Was it a setup? Was that woman framed? You know, with the diamonds or the drugs found in her car? That thing was very, very strange. You know, and then we heard about the $100 million that was, you know, paid to Angola and all those type of things. So, in the light of this, the mystery around this whole thing, what happened? In the light of that, we have asked for, you know, we came with tabled a motion for this thing to be discussed, and we will ask for an investigation, a proper investigation, independent panel must be appointed, not stooges and puppets and those type of people. And I think we as members of the National Assembly will have to agree on the panel to investigate the NAMCOR, and not being appointed by the president or whoever. That will not be acceptable to us.
Mr.
Because
Smit,
we have seen too many investigations, whatever that was done, and no report ever saw the light. You know,
commissions of
those things are
inquiries.
just being shelved, and nobody hear about, you know, the outcome of what. So this must be an open investigation into what happened at NAMCOR.
Still on NAMCOR. NAMCOR is the government organization that will regulate, that will be in charge of our oil finds just off the coast of Namibia. We are seeing new opportunities for oil finds as well. What is happening, what we are seeing happening at NAMCOR, don't you think there are red flags going up when it comes to the management, the potential management of our oil resources when there's this kind of fight going
it's
on?
very, very worrisome, this whole thing. You know, I posed a question in Parliament to the Minister of Mines and Energy some time back, when I saw that NAMCOR is busy putting up service stations across the country. And I'm very much against it, and I've said it earlier, for government to be in business. Because it's unfair for any businessman to have government as your opposition. Because the government, you know, has control over all the money that they need to do anything. So you as a business person must now compete, you know, with government. And you know, and if you look at the service stations, they are very flashy. No money is being saved, you know, on those service stations. They are really nice looking, I must say. And to me, it's unfair. If I have a service station on this side of the street, and NAMCOR come and open a service station on the other side of the street, and they have all the money available to put up a very smart place. So the chances are 99% that the customers will go there, and I will lose business, and it will take me out of business. So it's unfair. Now, I asked the question, and the minister said, yeah, no, this thing will be controlled, and it will not get out of hand, and whatever. And I said that is not the answer. It's not that. I didn't say it will go out of control. I said it's unfair for government to be in direct business. Then government can also go and put up a self-service market, another Grove Mall, you know, and put all their own shops in, and be in direct competition with the private sector. Where will we go if we allow this? And so it's unfair, and it's not right. Now, on the other thing, on the oil finding, I still want to know. I also asked the Minister of Mines and Energy this question. To whom does this area belongs to actually, where the oil was found? Because we will all recall, at one stage, the President, Dr. Keinkop, said, that oil is not ours. Whose oil is it then? And on what grounds did he say that oil is not ours? Is it because of the boundary between us and South Africa, that they are not clear where that line is going? Is those oil, those areas, where they found it, is it on the South African side or is it on our side? What was the reason why? Because a president of the country can't say a thing like this just, grab it out of the blue. There must be some substance in some facts in what he said. And then the minister also gave a very wishy-washy answer on that. He was very uncertain in his answer. He was not clear. So that worries me. And also what worries me, the other day I saw in the media, in the printed media, that they are advertising a lot of vacancies in the oil business, engineers and all this, graduate people with engineering and so on. So I was thinking, it was a number of vacancies. Now, where are those people coming from? We don't have those people. Our people are not qualified in the oil business, we are qualified in agriculture and other business, the type of business that we are doing. And I asked somebody, now, where are we going to get these expertise? So no, the only way is to get it from outside. So we will again bring in foreigners to come and run our businesses for us. Then I asked this person, and he's a person of, quite a high stand. Now, are you busy planning for the future? Are you asking Shell and Total and all those people already to give scholarships to our students, to our children, to go and study in the oil field, to qualify themselves? So it takes 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, to get a master's degree in whatever. It will take a long time before our people are qualified to come and take up those jobs. Or will we give it forever to foreigners? They will take over our oil business, take it over and run it for us, and we will get peanuts as usual. So that is also worrisome to me. But if things are happening, what apparent happened, then I'm very worried. And in the absence of a proper governance, corporate governance, this thing lends itself to huge corruption, The same with our diamonds.
Mr. Smit, thank you very much for joining us, but we have to cut this short.
No, you're welcome.
Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time.